Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today I am going to talk a little bit about using or how to use a tourniquet in a kind of a combat type situation, or a situation where you're taking fire, you know, kind of a deal. There's a little bit of difference in how you put on a tourniquet when you're taking fire, or when it's a, you know, like a active shooter kind of situation or something like that, and when you're in a, you know, more of a relaxed medical situation. Typically in a relaxed medical situation where you're not taking fire, if let's say the injury was you know, just midway on your calf or something like that, you would just put it 3 to 4 inches above the injury and then tighten it down, and that would be fine. And that's kind of how it's been taught for a long time. I recently attended a course with the U.S. Marshals, their, what is it, Tactical Casualty Combat Care, TCCC course or whatever. And a couple of things have changed in the way that they teach their course, so I thought I would share it with you guys. And basically, that is that if you're going to apply a tourniquet, you want to make sure that you do it, what the phrase that they used in the course was "high or die." And so the idea being that no matter where the injury was, let's say if it was on your leg, no matter where the injury was, you want to get the tourniquet up as high as you possibly can, and then tighten it down. And the idea with this is that there's no way for you to tighten this thing way down here. There's no way for you to make a mistake in the application of it and getting it too close to the wound or anything like that. And this has proven to be effective. The other thing that they taught is that once a tourniquet is on, you still can get back in the fight. You can still stand up, you can still walk around, you can still move, you can still do things. Even though it is somewhat painful, you can still do things. And a tourniquet can stay on, they are saying now in this course, for up to 6 hours, which is amazing. You know, that's a long time. But they have seen people be able to retain their limbs, you know, after critical injuries and stuff, and having a tourniquet on it for up to 6 hours. So that is pretty crazy. Same thing goes on the arm. There's no difference. You know, you just put it up as high as you can, tighten it down, just the same exact way. And saw a Facebook post talking about the need for schools to get trauma care, or to get trauma care training in being able to, you know, having the teachers and stuff like that going to trauma classes, going to first aid classes, having trauma kits in the classrooms so that they can treat kids. This is a huge thing right now, and this is, if you guys are friends with me on Facebook or whatever, then, you know, go check out that post. I shared it. The guy, Renegade Medic, I think is his name, he shares a lot of great insight on, you know, that EMS services are very risk averse right now, and they're not going to get in there until after the scene is clear. And with traumatic injuries like this in, you know, schools and stuff and churches and whatever the case may be, we need to have people trained in this kind of stuff. So, you know, this is like I said, just a real quick video showing, you know, kind of how the Marshal Service is recommending it at this point, and hopefully it is helpful. I'll try to get a couple of close-ups of putting this on, you know, here again as well before we get wrapped up. But having the training is key, and having the gear to be able to you know, put on a simple tourniquet or a simple pressure bandage is hugely important, I think. And it just makes sense to me that we should probably start looking at equipping gun-free zones like churches and schools and, you know, whatever else you know, might be similar with some trauma kits and stuff like that. That could probably save lives. I mean, how many students bled out, you know, in injuries in Parkland that could have been saved if there were you know, trauma kits available and stuff. So I think it's a pretty good discussion to have, and it's a good idea that we add that to the mix of things to look for, you know, as a society, we're looking for how do we save lives. And doing some more for first aid training is going to be certainly one good way to save lives. So anyway, all right, let me reposition the camera and I'll kind of do a little bit of close-up on this here. So we'll get it all the way up. Tight as we can, and then start to crank it down. And go ahead and put that over like that, and then you can get, you know, still get up and still move and all that kind of stuff. There's a natural tendency to want to just sit and not do anything, but you know, you still got to get off the X, you still got to move. You've been shot, you need to, you know, go ahead and finish the fight in whatever way, you know, shape or form. And I know we're kind of combining two things here. We're kind of combining personal, you know, self-care as well as treating others, but I think you guys kind of understand the difference, you know. Okay, so if it's on the arm, you're going to want to get it up there, you know, as high as you can, right in there, and get it on that brachial artery, and then start cranking that down. And I'm getting it pretty tight. Yeah, I mean, capillary refill is pretty much not there, so it's pretty well blocked off. And once you get that on, then you want to go ahead and put the white band over it. You can mark the time that it was applied, and again, you can still use your arm, you can still do things, you can still get back in the fight if you have to. It's going to fall asleep before long, but you know, it's still going to be somewhat functional for you, you know, for the next few minutes, which is going to typically get you, you know, able to get through the fight. When you let them off, make sure you let them off kind of slow. Don't want to let it off real fast. And having the other thing that you can do is having these kind of packed in such a manner that will allow them to be kind of pre-staged is pretty important as well. So you can just open it up, slide your arm or your leg through, and then do, you know, the adjustment with the Velcro to tighten it down. Okay guys, so just a real quick video. Really, you know, the purpose is just to pass along the information that I got in that class, and that basically the saying now is high or die. And that's, again, if you're in a situation where you're taking fire, or you're, you know, in an active shooter situation or something like that, and there's still a danger around you, then you just go ahead and move that tourniquet all the way up as high as you can on to the limbs. Obviously, you don't use tourniquets on necks. But yeah, so the guidance has just changed a little bit on that as far as the, you know, tactical casualty care, TCC kind of thing. The other thing is that I think we should just add to the conversation about these active shooter situations, about getting people first aid and trauma trained and putting those resources, to be able to treat those kinds of injuries in classrooms, in churches, in wherever gun-free zones are. So I mean, it's very possible that it could save lives. So anyway, guys, I hope you have found this useful. As always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps: proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys, and I'll have some links to some trauma-type items from Amazon in the description below. Thank you very much for those people who are using the Amazon link. That makes a huge difference each month, and I really do appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it helps us out a bunch. All right, take care, stay safe.